The steps we are taking today are about securing our economic recovery. The steps we're taking today are about Australians looking forward, and the steps we are taking today is about taking Australia forward. From the 1st of December 2021, fully vaccinated eligible visa holders will be able to come to Australia without needing to apply for a travel exemption. Eligible visa holders, including skilled and student cohorts, as well as humanitarian temporary working holiday maker and provisional family visa holidays. In addition to the introduction of the travel from Singapore, which only started on the 21st, from the 1st of December 2021, Australia will also welcome back fully vaccinated citizens from Japan and Korea. Under these arrangements, citizens of Japan and Korea who hold a valid Australian visa will be able to travel from their home country quarantine-free to participate in that program where states and territories are providing that opportunity without needing to seek a travel exemption. The return of skilled workers and students to Australia is a major milestone in our pathway back. It's a major milestone about what Australians have been able to achieve and enable us to do. It'll mean a lot for the economies of our country, right around the country, who need those workers and want to see those students return. And so we're looking forward to that occurring from the 1st of December. We have done this in an orderly way. At first we said, let's get Australians home or fully vaccinated, and that's been occurring since the 1st of this month. And so from the 1st of next month, we'll start welcoming back the students, we'll start welcoming back those on skilled visas that are desperately needed to ensure we are able to take full advantage of the economic recovery that we're working to secure. The steps we are taking today are about securing our economic recovery. The steps we're taking today are about Australians looking forward, and the steps we are taking today is about taking Australia forward. From the 1st of December 2021, fully vaccinated eligible visa holders will be able to come to Australia without needing to apply for a travel exemption. Eligible visa holders, including skilled and student cohorts, as well as humanitarian temporary working holiday maker and provisional family visa holidays. In addition to the introduction of the travel from Singapore, which only started on the 21st, from the 1st of December 2021, Australia will also welcome back fully vaccinated citizens from Japan and Korea. Under these arrangements, citizens of Japan and Korea who hold a valid Australian visa will be able to travel from their home country quarantine-free to participate in that program where states and territories are providing that opportunity without needing to seek a travel exemption. The return of skilled workers and students to Australia is a major milestone in our pathway back. It's a major milestone about what Australians have been able to achieve and enable us to do. It'll mean a lot for the economies of our country, right around the country, who need those workers and want to see those students return. And so we're looking forward to that occurring from the 1st of December. We have done this in an orderly way. At first we said, let's get Australians home or fully vaccinated, and that's been occurring since the 1st of this month. And so from the 1st of next month, we'll start welcoming back the students, we'll start welcoming back those on skilled visas that are desperately needed to ensure we are able to take full advantage of the economic recovery that we're working to secure.
Hello, everyone. We are here today in our Facebook Live with another session. Today with Ashini Santalia. One more time.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Yes, my pleasure to be back again with some exciting news.
Yeah, so welcome back to Ash to our session, and welcome back to international students and parents of everyone that wants to come to Australia. Ash, this is the topic for us today. And I want to ask you, fresh news, breaking news. Like 3 hours ago, we got this news. Can you tell us a little bit what's going on today?
Absolutely. So I think the best thing to say is Christmas has come early, and our Prime Minister, Mr. Scott Morrison, has given a great Christmas gift to all the students who are wanting to come to Australia from all around the world, whether they are already students from the past or they're new students. So everybody will be welcome back to Australia from 1st of December, quarantine free, into New South Wales and into Victoria, which is into Sydney and Melbourne. So that's the breaking news that was announced by Prime Minister today. Not only students, the next cohort of people who will be also allowed to come and travel into Australia would be any other temporary visa holders. There is a big list of different subclass visas that's basically people get, and all of them would be allowed to travel back into Australia effective 1st of December. So in summary, apart from tourist visas, everybody else will be allowed to travel into Australia without quarantine free. And those tourists who are parents of Australian PR and citizens will also be allowed, but they will need to apply for exemptions. Anybody else, like students and temporary residents, they don't need exemptions and they can travel in and out of Australia like they used to do before. And Australian citizens and PR, their parents can also travel into Australia with exemption, but that will be granted. So that's the breaking news.
The breaking news.
Right.
So basically, today we got the answer to the question that we have every now and then in these live sessions. Can international students come back to Australia?
Absolutely. And your prediction came true. You said last time that the next time we come, hopefully we can answer that question to be saying yes.
Yeah.
And yes, today is the day, guys. Today is the day where we are sharing this great news that yes, now if you ask us the question, can international students travel? The answer to that is yes, effective 1 December. They can.
Exactly. So just to start, Ash, if remember to the people that's connected with us via Zoom or via Facebook, remember you have questions, just type it down in the chat of Zoom or in this live session on Facebook, and we will be answering during this time the questions as Ash has going through all the information and having more clarity about what are the conditions for these announcements allowing international students and skilled visas holders to come to Australia. So I have a couple by myself, Ash, just to start. And okay, international students are welcome to Australia. What are the conditions? They don't need to be fully vaccinated. They don't need to do quarantine. What are the conditions at the moment to?
Yeah, good question, Chris. So basically, the condition is exactly the same as any other traveler, which is basically they need to be fully vaccinated by a vaccine which is recognized by TGA. And right now, for Indian travelers, both Covishield and Covaxin are recognized by TGA. The second thing is they need to have a PCR test 72 hours before departure, within departure.
Okay.
And also they need to have proof of vaccination and proof of PCR test along with them when they are checking in, because that will be cited by the airport check-in staff. So along with passports and visas, now you need to always carry with you a vaccination certificate and also the RT-PCR test. So if these four things, if somebody carries with them, a passport, a valid visa, a valid vaccination certificate and RT-PCR test negative, then they will be allowed to travel into Australia without any restriction into Melbourne and Sydney. Other jurisdictions, there are still quarantine arrangements and very limited flight available. But into Melbourne and Sydney, there are plenty of flights available and there is no quarantine at all for fully vaccinated travelers.
Perfect. So there are just one traveler more. That's like the conditions that were for people before are conditions for parents also.
That is correct. So it's the same, but parents have to do one extra step, which is basically they have to still apply for exemptions. They will be granted the exemptions, but they still need to apply.
Okay.
On the other hand, the students and temporary visa holders don't need to apply for any kind of exemptions.
They don't need to apply for exemptions.
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. So let's start with the questions that we start to receive, for example, from Facebook. Chetna Kashal said, when we are able to book tickets?
Well, now our website has flights available. So many flights available to travel from here to India in December and January and travel from India to Australia in December, January, February, whatever dates you want. There are plenty of options available on our website.
Okay, so Chetna also clarified that she has a temporary graduate visa. Can temporary graduates come and they are not in the country? Can they come and under this announcement?
So as we all know, we are not like a immigration consultant, so we cannot exactly give you advice as to which visa are allowed or not. On a general basis, as far as I've read the Prime Minister's speech, I've heard it, I've read their media release, and in that it says that all the temporary visa holders and students would be allowed. Now, as for each person's specific case, you'll need to check that with immigration or check the Home Affairs website, and there'll be more details over there available.
Okay, so let's check because there are more and more questions at this moment. What's the situation with Queensland students? Can students that are usually in Queensland can come to the country?
Well, yes, they can, but they can only come to Melbourne or Sydney. So there is no restriction that you have to be a resident of New South Wales or resident of Victoria to come to Australia. So I guess what I'm trying to say is a shorthand of saying that you can move cities and live in Victoria or New South Wales until the time you're allowed to enter Queensland.
Okay.
So if you want to directly go to Queensland, right now there is no option. You have to wait until they allow. But in the meantime, if you want to come to Australia, you can. And you can stay in Melbourne and Sydney with your friends or anywhere else and do a job or whatever you want to. And when it's time to go into Queensland, you can go when they allow.
There's something to clarify because Queensland has announced like when they reach some point of the vaccination, they will be open, and they say this before Christmas. They expect to be open before Christmas.
Yeah, I have read that too. So I guess if you want to wait till that time, you can wait till that time. Or if someone wants to, I got some messages today that the people want to grab a flight on 1st December. So it depends on the urgency of each person. Those who want to travel earlier, they can definitely travel into Melbourne and Sydney effective 1st December. But if you want to wait late and okay to come back by Christmas time or early January, then I'm sure Queensland and Western Australia will have opportunities for you to travel in as well.
Exactly. So Muhammad said 500 visa come to Australia after 1st of December. That basically 500 visa is a student visa. So that's a yes. Today is not,
Yes, exactly.
Who knows? Today is not soon. Today is 1st of December. You are fully welcome to come to Australia. You have a valid visa.
Correct.
So Nachiket Kati, and now this starts to be a recurrent question for 85 visa that, as much as I understand for Chetna, is a temporary graduate visa. So as Ash already explained, they should consult with the immigration agent, immigration agency to check, because today they say international students, but there is no clarify about temporary graduates.
Yeah, they said eligible visa holders.
Mhm.
Now, as you know, there is like hundreds of subclasses and visa categories, you know. So we are not expert in that. We cannot give you specific advice. We are giving you generic advice that in general you are allowed. Now, whether a specific case you are allowed or not, you'll have to check that yourself with Home Affairs or through Immigration Department.
Okay, so I will continue with Chetna, which is doing quite a lot of questions. That is nice. Thanks for participating, Chetna. So she was asking, when can we book? And you say, right now.
Right.
Now the question of Chetna is, can I book the flights from your website, from Gowra Travel's website?
Absolutely. That's where everybody is booking. So I think at the moment, every day, people are going onto a website and booking. So you are most welcome to book on the website, because every person now booking with Gora Travel has to book through the website because of the volume of bookings that we are getting. It is not possible for us to manually handle the bookings anymore. So all our customers are booking through the website, and you are also encouraged to do that.
Okay.
And if you need any help, you can call us 24/7, and our customer service agents can help you with anything.
So let's go back to Zoom. Let's start to have quite a few questions. So Ishita, what are the rules for 485 visa holders if they are applying from onshore? Is it after 6 months or 12 months from their graduation? I think this is a question
Hello.
for
Immigration
immigration agent. I think we have someone here available. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Do you have a question?
Yes, my name is Vishal. Basically, just want to inquire, like, if we want to travel from Delhi to Melbourne for a student.
Yes, you are allowed to do that from 1st of December.
Okay, so how can we book the tickets, please?
Just go on our website and check out whatever
Yep.
options are available. You can book it.
Yeah,
Alrighty.
www.gowratravel.com.au. You will
Okay.
find in the menu flights. So there is India to Australia option, and from there you can check all.
All right.
Okay.
So do we need any exemption? We don't need any exemption, I believe, isn't it?
Not anymore. You don't need any exemption
All right.
after 1st of December.
Okay. Okay, and just the last thing, the PCR test, is it like will be at the airport before the like boarding the flight, or how does it work?
You can do that as well. You can do a PCR test in Delhi airport, or you can do beforehand, but not before 72 hours. So it should be within
Not before 70.
Correct.
Okay, and do we know, like, is there any centers like we can get the PCR test done, like any specific places?
Where are you right now?
In Punjab.
Yeah, so there's plenty of places. Just you can do a Google search. There's lots of places where you can do tests in the whole of India. So I'm sure you'll find.
Okay. All right, because I'm in Melbourne. I'm just inquiring on behalf of my nephew. He is double vaccinated and he already has his visa, so we are just looking to book the ticket for him, and that's it.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
All right.
Okay.
I'm
Thanks for
sorry?
participate.
Thank
No.
you.
Okay. So we have now the question from Hardik. Since Singapore Airlines has sent bookings from 29th of November, does it affect people who book charter flights?
No, our charter flights will operate anyways if without Singapore available on scheduled flights or not. So it's completely different arrangement. So it's not one or the other.
That's also something important to clarify, Ash, because some people has come to us and ask why some of those flights are not in Singapore Airlines. So it's good to clarify that that's flights are exclusive for Gaura travel.
Correct. Yes.
That's the reason why you don't find that flights, or you won't find those flights on Singapore Airlines.
In Singapore's website. Correct.
Yeah.
So it is still traveling on Singapore Airlines, operated by Singapore Airlines with the Singapore Airlines hospitality, their aircraft, their service, their seats, everything. But you won't be able to book that any other place apart from Gaura Travel.
Okay. So another thing important to clarify today, that is a little bit off topic, but Hishita is asking. She bought tickets Melbourne to Delhi on Saturday, but she hasn't received her ticket yet. So
For which date?
and let me check. Oh, she's not specifying, but she said I haven't received my ticket now. How can she prove that she has a ticket or?
Yeah, but so I'll answer that. It's a good question, and I think many people are asking this question. So basically, as we just mentioned, these are all charter flights. In this situation, is very different to a normal flight. So when people book a normal flight, then basically they are individual booking and they get a ticket individually. When it's a group in a charter flight, then the whole plane has to be ticketed together. We cannot ticket one at a time. But having said that, when somebody makes a booking on our website, then they get a confirmation from us saying your booking is confirmed, this is your flight number, this is your details. So that itself is a confirmation. And you don't need anything more until the time of traveling. And that's why our advice is that we issue all the tickets together, and then you get a confirmation. Then you get the e-ticket 24 to 48 hours before traveling.
So Ishita, you haven't received any email, for example, that you are mentioning. Just write down your order number, and we will take care of your case.
Yes.
Radha Krishna, how I can come to Sydney? They will ask for a reason to come to Sydney when you hold the visa of Brisbane or something. Or he's trying to amplify the question about Queensland. So if they arrive to Sydney, they don't have to prove that they're international students in Brisbane, or they just come, stay in Sydney until they can go to Queensland.
Absolutely. So, in fact, when it was announced by the New South Wales Premier, they were very proud to announce that they want to make Sydney the capital of Australia to welcome everybody, So there is no such rule like whenever you arrive to any city in Australia, nobody asks you for any address. They just check your visa, they check your passport, and that's all they do. So they want to make sure that you have a valid visa and a valid passport. And that's pretty much it. And obviously now they will also check your vaccinated status. And if that's all, and your RT-PCR test. So they will check all these 4 things. And as long as those 4 things are in order, then you are free to just go about your business, So you can come into Sydney and do whatever you want. You can come into Melbourne and do whatever you want. And then at that time, you can basically decide to stay there for some time before you travel to your home state when you are allowed to do that. For example, in Queensland, probably around Christmas. For Western Australia, it could be sometime next year. So until that time, you can stay in either Victoria or New South Wales, and later on you can travel to those states once they allow you to travel.
Okay. So next question is, what's the likely to cancel the charter flights, Ash?
Well, there is every likelihood, the same likelihood as a scheduled flight as well. So at the moment, we've been in the business for last 14 years, and so far we have operated more than 94 charter flights in the last 2 years. And there are many reasons why a flight could be cancelled due to technical reasons, due to aircraft issues, due to government regulation changes. So we don't get into the percentage. What's the percentage? All we say is we try to make sure that it operates. And so far, as we said, we have operated 94 charter flights. And usually, if any aircraft or any flight is cancelled, that's usually due to reasons beyond our control, And I would not like to speculate on those things right now. As far as I can see, most of the government regulations are now sorted out, so that will be less of a hindrance.
Yeah.
And in the past, any cancellation was used because of that, because of the government hindrance. They were changing rules and regulations from India, from Australia. So there were so many changes with the governments that was the cause of cancellations in the past. Moving forward, I think that's a very encouraging sign that they are welcoming more and more, and there is less government changes. And due to that, it is going to be very less likely that it's going to be cancelled.
Exactly. What happened just in case what you are saying is less likely? What happened with the refunds or the flights is not refundable? So what happened if the flight got cancelled? The person was moved to other flight or?
Yes, look, with such scenario, we give the option to customer because we have various flights, we have several flights. So we give them options to take another flight, which they are obviously has a choice. It's nothing that they're forced upon them. So if somebody is okay to change into, excuse me, to change into a next flight, then they're given that option to do that.
Mm-hmm.
However, if the flight is actually cancelled by Gora Travel for whatever reasons, based on government changes or any problems with the airlines, then we do offer a full refund because it's not a customer's fault,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I hope that answered your question, Ishita. Radhe Krishna is saying he wants to come to Australia on 1st of December. Okay, that's something important. Chetna is saying, when I check Gaura Travel site flights, it's saying that it's only available for citizens and PR holders.
Yeah, that's a very good point. It was the case until few hours ago, because that's what was the announcement by the government. We are trying to update that site as soon as possible. I think by overnight we will be updated.
Exactly.
So when you check that tomorrow, then those conditions will be updated.
Exactly. So, hi sir, Rakesh, I'm a student and my university is in Queensland. So can I directly travel to Queensland in December?
So as we answered before, if until the Queensland government changes their policies, you cannot travel directly to Queensland without quarantine. And the number of flights going into Queensland are quite limited too. However, you can come into Melbourne or Sydney and then you can stay here until the time the Queensland government allows you to travel there.
Okay. Rajan Patel, my student-dependent visa expired on 23rd of September 2021. My wife is in Adelaide on bridging visa. What should I do? There's an immigration.
Yeah, it's a bit of a technical immigration issue at which we are not able to advise you on.
Yes.
You should discuss that with an immigration consultant.
The advice is to discuss with an immigration consultant because it's quite a specific case, Rajan. Can we book with Air India flights? Do we have available Air India flights?
So as far as, yes, there are Air India flights, but as far as we are aware, for the next 1 month, it's all sold out. So that's why it's not available on our website.
Yeah. Okay. Um, Kanika is saying, I booked a ticket with you from 10th of December and I want to purchase an extra baggage. What should I do?
Well, it depends on the airlines whether they will allow or not. So we don't know the specific situation about which flight you're booked into. But you can email us on customer care at goratravel.com.au and then we'll check that and get back to you.
Exactly. So remember to type your questions for say more people is joining. Remember to type your questions if you have any. We will answer today. So Ash, can you tell us a little about what are the flights that we have available for this travel? For example, in the case for international students in December to come from India to Australia, which airlines and more or less which dates we have available?
So at the moment, we have some special flights available with Singapore Airlines, starting from Delhi and coming to Singapore and then Melbourne. In month of December, around 17, 16, starting from 16 December until 24th of December, we have 4 flights available. And then in January month, starting from 3rd of January until the 26th of February, for the whole 2 months, we have flights available almost every day. So you just need to check our website and there are various dates available to both Sydney and Melbourne almost every day for the whole month of January and February. And it's all on Singapore Airlines.
Oh, okay. All with Singapore
Yeah,
Airlines.
some are with Malaysia Airlines as well, but most of them are with Singapore Airlines.
Okay. And Hari Krishna is like any idea when could Singapore, Malaysia, and Hours open to Australia? Why is not available at the moment?
It's not available at the moment because the Indian government are not allowing those flights to operate between India and Malaysia and India and Singapore. Once those policies change from the Indian government side, then these flights will be starting to operate into Australia to India.
Yeah.
At the moment, it is operating from Australia to Malaysia and Australia to Singapore, but not Australia to India all the way through.
Exactly. Just one more time, just to be clear and to answer your question, Chetna, even when the website is saying citizens and PR holders, you can book totally with us. The thing is, the announcement took everyone by surprise. We have to update the website because it was a few hours ago. So overnight it will be updated saying the type of visas that are allowed. However, as we are doing this live and giving the face to you, you are able to book your ticket to come in December to Australia. I have a return ticket Malaysian Airlines with Gaura Travel, which got cancelled due to COVID in 2020. Now, it's there as open ticket. Can I rebook those tickets for going to India in January 2022?
Yes, you can, as long as Malaysia Airlines restarts their commercial flights. So as far as I know, there are no flights available with Malaysia Airlines on commercial flights. Until that happens, you cannot reschedule your previous flight. What flights you see available on website currently is on charter flights.
Charter flights.
So the commercial ticket cannot be adjusted with a charter flight ticket.
Oh, okay. One more time, Ash. When are we going to book tickets? I guess international students are talking. When can we book?
You can book today. You can start now. No problem. So there is no restriction. It's all flights available on our website. Although it says it's only for PR and citizens, but as Chris mentioned earlier, that it will be updated overnight. So because this news only came out today, so yeah, you can go ahead and book your flights now.
Exactly. So let me back here. That's ready. Can we invite our family members from UK or from US to Melbourne in December?
Depends. Basically, it depends on the visa status. So if you family members, meaning if it's their parents of a PR or a citizen, then you can invite them from any part of the world.
Okay.
It's not specific to India.
To India.
Yeah. But if they are just say other extended family members like cousins or brothers or sisters or sister-in-law or father, all these kind of things, other relationship, Australia is not recognizing. So until Australia starts the tourist visa completely, then they cannot come.
Okay.
But as long as these family members are parents of any PR holders or citizens, then they can travel into Australia from any part of the world.
Okay. Are charter flights being allowed? So as much as I know, we have available.
We have 94. We have operated 94 charter flights. Obviously, not a single flight could have been operated without permission. You know, it's not something that we can hide. That we cannot fool the Australian government or the Indian government and then put up a flight in a sneaky manner and then get the passengers from here to there. You know,
Yeah.
every single flight that has been operated has been obviously allowed by the government of Australia and the government of India. So even what flights we have available right now is being allowed by the government. And why not? If there are normal flights being allowed, what's the problem with charter flights?
Exactly.
Just to clear this misconception, obviously it's a new thing for everybody about charter flights, but charter flights are allowed 365 days in a year for many, many decades. It basically, people have not been used to traveling on charter flights, but it's no different than any scheduled flight. It's just that it's basically booked for one particular company. It's not something that it has to be booked through the company who is the charterer who has booked the charter flight. That's the major difference. But it's not something that it's a unique thing that there are no charter flights available. There are charter flights operating throughout the year for various destinations. It's not very common compared to scheduled flights, but it doesn't mean it's not available or it's not something that is unique. It happens quite often, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, regarding the question of Ishita, you were asking Ash for the date, and she's saying Melbourne to Bangalore, 17th of December.
Yeah, so I mean, it's still quite some time away, and I just explained the ticketing process of a charter flight versus a regular commercial flight is very different. Where a regular commercial flight, every person is ticketed one at a time. Whereas on a charter flight, it's all ticketed as a group.
Exactly.
So you will be getting that before you travel, and basically be rest assured about that. There won't be any issues. And as you just mentioned, you haven't got confirmation on your email. We will need to check why not, because every traveler gets a confirmation about their booking and their itinerary.
Exactly. Rishabh Jain, I have a Qantas ticket on 18 from Sydney to Delhi. I'm back from Delhi to Sydney in Air India. I have passed and haven't got the tickets. And subsequent booking in India. Can you please share the tickets? I think this is another example as you explained why the tickets are.
Yes, so basically it's a similar situation that we have some group bookings that we have with Qantas, and those are also ticketed together. I think we are basically processing them in the next couple of weeks. And once it's done, then you're going to receive those tickets as well.
Exactly. Kuberman Sotra, also, he have booked a ticket Melbourne to Delhi on 15th of December. A ticket issued. However, he want to manage the booking to add extra luggage. What can Kuber do to add?
Again, if you can just email us on customercare@goatravel.com.au, then we can get back to you after checking.
Perfect. So let me check Ash because I think there's all the questions that we have until the moment. If you have more questions, please write it down now. So as you were talking about parents, we focus a little bit to the
On
international students, due to the news, the fresher news. But what's the process a little bit to bring parents? You say for anywhere in the world, you need some kind to show that they are mom, dad.
Absolutely. So the process is that you first of all need to apply for exemption. And like any exemption, you will need to provide supporting documents. So if you just say one-liner that they are my parents, please let them come, that's not going to be enough. You need to show some proof to prove how they are your parents, and as much as documents you can attach in that exemption application. Then obviously they will look into that and they will authenticate their information, the Home Affairs, and then they will grant you an exemption. Once you've got the exemption, then you can book a ticket. That's much more safer. And then obviously they need to be fully vaccinated, and they also need to do a RT-PCR test before traveling. So the step one for parents is to apply for exemption with supporting documents. And as we have seen, even one of our colleagues recently had her mother-in-law come, and they are here. So we know a lot of people who are traveling and they're getting the exemptions.
Okay.
So I don't see there is a problem. It's just a process that you have to follow and provide the supporting documents, and then you'll get the exemption.
Oh, okay. So who are able to bring parents? Like exclusive for permanent residents, citizens, or what kind of visas can invite the parents to come to Australia?
Yeah, that's correct. So basically, it's only exclusively for Australian permanent residents and citizens.
Oh, okay.
So a temporary resident or a student visa holder cannot bring their parents into Australia. It's good news that at least they can come now.
Yeah.
So they can't be complaining about that because they are being allowed now to come as long as they are fully vaccinated and they are obviously having a valid visa. They can come now. But their parents or any other relatives will not be allowed to come because they need to be, when Australia allows all the travelers, including tourist visas, to come, that's when everybody will be welcome. And I don't see that to be very far away.
Yeah.
It's probably, I believe from January that should be allowed, most likely.
Yeah, exactly. So, Kuber, if you bring the order number for us, we can process your order to the customer care center, and they will call you back to discuss about your extra luggage that you are asking for help. So we are happy to help. Do we have any flights on 1st of December or the first week at least?
No, because we didn't know that this announcement will come. If we knew, we could have done that.
Yeah.
We don't have anything on 1st, unfortunately, but we have it later, as I mentioned, from 16th of December.
Okay. Rahib, thanks for the question, but the question is quite about for immigration agent. Ash, do you know what is the processing time currently for a sponsored partner visa? I recently applied for a 3 years sponsored visa for my mom, but not sure how long it could take.
Yeah, look, we are not experts in that
Yeah.
area, so we can't answer that, unfortunately.
Yeah. So which flight is best to travel from India to Melbourne?
Look, Singapore Airlines has been one of the best airlines in that route, and we are proud to be supporters of Singapore Airlines and multi-award winners with Singapore Airlines. So I would recommend that's one of the best airlines to travel with.
Yeah. Rishabh, you shared also with us your order number. We will check because We are open 24/7. You can tell us also which number are you calling, because we are available 24/7 in our contact center. So if you haven't been able to get connected, just send me in the message of Facebook your order number, and also we pass your question to the contact center, and they will be in contact with you. Can I travel from Perth to India and come back?
You can go out, yes, but coming back, the Western Australia government has to allow to come back without quarantine, which they haven't given any clarity that it's going to happen anytime soon. But eventually they will. But right now, that clarity is not provided.
Yeah. So Hardik is saying, are they flights canceled regularly or last minute cancellations for the flights, charter or no charter?
So from our, I'm just trying to recollect when we have cancelled last flights. So there was some cancellation that happened in the month of October, and that was due to the cap reductions of Australian government for some inbound flights. We haven't cancelled any flights for outbound practically this whole year. I think what you're referring to right now is sometimes what happens is certain flights by the airlines get overbooked, and they inform us because basically right now the flight availability is very low, which is very, very rare. In the past, there was always lots of flights available to travel to India. But right now it's an unprecedented situation where from 1st of November onwards, when the announcement of Australian government was made that you can travel and you can come back without exemptions, then the demand really gone through the roof and the supply has not caught up. Maybe by next year that will balance out, but at the moment the demand for flights is very high versus the supply. So many of the flights are going 100% or more full. So what happens is sometimes the airlines have some extra bookings because they always expect certain cancellations, and that's a normal practice in the airline industry to overbook their flights for a certain percentage because they always expect some cancellations last minute.
Yeah.
What we have found, unfortunately, recently the cancellations has not been there, and because of that, some of the flights have been overbooked. And then the airlines inform us that these passengers are overbooked. If they come to the airport, then they will face a problem and won't be able to board a flight. So sometimes we have to inform those passengers beforehand that rather than going to the airport and facing that hassle, we inform them beforehand that this particular flight has been overbooked, and we provide them with the alternative option. So I think that's a better solution than someone just rocking up to the airport and then realizing that they won't be able to travel. We try to inform them beforehand and then give them some alternative options. Now, I believe these occurrences are not everyday affairs. It happens from time to time, and it happens and affects few passengers. It's not like it's into hundreds and thousands. It's a handful of passengers that it may happen to, and it's unfortunate that it happens, but it has happened to me once actually.
Yeah.
When I was traveling on Emirates and the flight was overbooked, and they gave me an alternative option.
Exactly. So, Coer, you're welcome. We are here to help you. Thanks for sharing the number. We will check and inform your case. Rajinder, I'm getting ticket booked from Delhi via Dubai to Melbourne on 6th of December. Is it true or fake? I'm a student, 500 visa. If this is the government travel website is true, we cannot put fake flights on sale.
That's correct. Why would we? I mean, that doesn't make sense. Yeah.
It's Emirates, so yeah, exactly. If the flight got overbooked, when the customers usually get informed?
It depends on when we get information from the airlines. But usually, I would say it will be at least 48 hours, if not more, before the flight, you know.
Okay.
So as soon as we get informed by the airlines, we inform the customers.
Yeah.
Sometimes they inform us earlier, even like 7 days before. So because it depends on when they realize their flights are quite overbooked and they're not getting much cancellations, you know.
Exactly. So Ishita, no worries. We are here to help you. Which passengers get affected? How is the selection made?
Well, it's a bit complicated to go through right now, but mostly they just see which passengers are booked before and all those kind of things, you know. So it's basically the first come first serve. Whoever is booked first, they usually get through, and then who book towards the end are the ones who get affected. So most of the time, if you're booked early, you should be fine.
Exactly. So, okay, Ash, I think that's all the questions that we have by today. Thank you very much for answering our questions about and for bringing the important news today about international students and parents that are available to come to Australia. That's has been really, really good news. Today, nobody had to ask our international students are able to come because basically the answer was
Yes.
there. So
yeah, it's our pleasure always to bring good news to everybody, and I think with this, Australia is really opening up, and I think there is now the time for traveling and reuniting and coming back to your jobs in Australia or your universities. And also one more thing I would like to point here, which I think hasn't come out of this discussion, is not only those who are away right now from Australia can come in, but with today's announcement, if there is any student in Australia who want to travel home and come back, they will be allowed to do that as well. If there is anybody right now in Australia who is in temporary residency or any kind of temporary visas, and if they want to travel overseas and visit their family and friends, they will be allowed to do that now as well. The only reason they were not allowed previously is because there was no guarantee of coming back. But right now, with this announcement after 1 December, anybody from Australia being on temporary visa or being on student visa, they can also travel out of Australia and also come back. So basically, the two-way traffic between Australia and India and any other part of the world will be allowed for all the PR and citizens, which was already allowed from 1st of November, and for all the temporary residents and student visa holders from 1st of December.
perfect. So yeah, that's really, really important clarification because, of course, anyone that is here and want to go to India and come back, maybe going for holidays, if you are an international student here in Australia, wanted to go to your country for the holiday season, come back for the next term, of course, from 1st of December, you are able to come back, but they can go
anytime. They can go now.
In November, but they should be able to come after 1st of December.
Correct.
What about South Australia students for tickets booking from Ahmedabad to Adelaide?
Yeah, we don't have any flights directly to Adelaide, so you'll have to come either to Melbourne and Sydney and then catch a domestic flight.
Exactly. So Milan, you want to go or come from Ahmedabad to Adelaide? Your destination should be Melbourne or Sydney, and from there book a flight to arrive finally to Adelaide. So, no, thank you very much. No, it's true. Thank you very much for helping us today. We will be back soon with more topics to discuss with you, more news. We promise when this breaking news will be announced, we will be here as soon as possible. And you can see we are telling you the latest news, even without updating our website, but it's because there was suddenly announced today. So thank you very much, Ash, and thank you very much all of you for being with us today, for being active, participating during this hour. And once again, let's listen what the Prime Minister of Australia said this morning about traveling to Australia.
Sure.
So let's look at it. Just give me 1 second and I will share with all of you the words from the Prime Minister directly. It's not us. It's the Prime Minister saying who is able to come. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a good Monday and not Monday.
The steps we are taking today are about securing our economic recovery. The steps we're taking today are about Australians looking forward, and the steps we are taking today is about taking Australia forward. From the 1st of December 2021, fully vaccinated eligible visa holders will be able to come to Australia without needing to apply for a travel exemption. Eligible visa holders, including skilled and student cohorts, as well as humanitarian temporary working holiday maker and provisional family visa holidays. In addition to the introduction of the travel from Singapore, which only started on the 21st, from the 1st of December 2021, Australia will also welcome back fully vaccinated citizens from Japan and Korea. Under these arrangements, citizens of Japan and Korea who hold a valid Australian visa will be able to travel from their home country quarantine-free to participate in that program where states and territories are providing that opportunity without needing to seek a travel exemption. The return of skilled workers and students to Australia is a major milestone in our pathway back. It's a major milestone about what Australians have been able to achieve and enable us to do. It'll mean a lot for the economies of our country, right around the country, who need those workers and want to see those students return. And so we're looking forward to that occurring from the 1st of December. We have done this in an orderly way. At first we said, let's get Australians home or fully vaccinated, and that's been occurring since the 1st of this month. And so from the 1st of next month, we'll start welcoming back the students, we'll start welcoming back those on skilled visas that are desperately needed to ensure we are able to take full advantage of the economic recovery that we're working to secure.